Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. This is the first game of the 20-game series with the Dark Olympiad, Witch Cult of the Dark Eldar versus Matt and his Samhain war host of jet bikes and vipers and wave serpents and lots of stuff. So we are playing a test mission for Astronomicon Toronto. We've set the table up in a very thematic way, and we're playing supply, so three drop objectives. So 3 drop objectives at the start of the second turn. We'll be scattering from the center of the table. It is pitch battle deployment. Matt can choose to make it night fight if he wants, but it doesn't really affect either our armies because we both have night vision in our armies. And he has chosen to go first after deploying first, which is one of the things of 7th. So, in the army we have 4 6-man Eldar jetbike units with 2 cannons, a Bright Lance Wave Serpent with fire dragons in it, 3 dual cannon Vipers, an Autarch, 5 Shining Spears, and 2 units of 2 War Walkers that have scatter lasers and Bright Lances. Now, those are in reserve, together with the Shining Spears, and 2 units of jet bikes waiting to come on and outflank, respectively. The Dark Eldar Witch Cult Army. 2 units of warriors in Venoms, 2 units of witches in Raiders. One has a succubus in there. I rolled number 5 for my pain token. Trueborn, 4 of them with 3 blasters, with a Farseer that rolled everything on telepathy. So he got Horrify, Shrouded, Shriek, and Dominate. And in reserve I have a Void Raven Bomber. I have 8 Reaver jet bikes in reserve, and 8 Hellions that are deep striking, as well as 3 Eldar jet bikes of my own. So this is going to be the first 1500 point game of 7th edition. Make sure you stay tuned. Please don't mind the half-built models, as our armies are a work in progress. So, as a true Dark Eldar that I am, my Warlord trait is +1 to my charge range within 12 inches of my Warlord, because it fits the fluff of a Witch Cult. And his is Night Attacker, because they changed it to give night vision as well as night fight on the first turn. So, will I seize the initiative? I do not. Eldar, turn 1. The Eldar war host advances at full speed towards the Dark Eldar lines. The Wave Serpent opened up on the Succubus's radar, blowing it sky high, forcing them to get out, and they did not fail their pinning test. The Vipers fired onto the Trueborn Venom with the Farseer and wrecked the Venom, forcing them to disembark in front of the lines. The Eldar jet bikes, the green squad, fired into the other Venom, forced it into jinking and stopped it from firing, only allowing snap shooting, but that's redundant anyway. But it can still move, which is nice. And the other unit stayed back with the Autarch, dictating the pace of battle. Dark Eldar, turn 1. Succubus moved into the Raider. The warriors moved out of the Venom and fired into the Wave Serpent, forcing a jink. The Farseer, during his psychic phase, first psychic phase of 7th edition, dominated the Eldar Jetbike unit, Psychic Shriek 2 of them, and then they ran off the board. He also suffered the perils of the warp, where he rolled a 6. And harnessing the Great Warp Surge, he is now a beast. 3 up invulnerable save, Armor Bane, Flesh Bane. He also gave himself Shrouded, so all models within 6 inches are shrouded, and if he's still alive, which means I moved nice and close to him in the shooting phase to get it the benefits from Jink if I decide to Jink. Also, that's it really. That's all that happened. Now we're going to roll for the objectives and see where they go, and then we're going to roll for reserves on camera, sir. So we have 2 units of warp, and by warp I mean War Walkers. They both show up. Then we have 2 units of Eldar jet bikes. By the way, he has an autarch, so we can add or subtract.
Or
add. So 2 come in, and the shining spears that also arrive. Eldar turn 2. What a bloodbath! First 2 cannon shots of the game, instant killed my Farseer, knocking out my shrouded save, and then everything else shot, blowing up all my tanks, and killing all the Trueborn, all the unit of warriors. That unit of warriors is pinned. The unit of witches that was in the venom all died in the explosion. They are fleeing, and my succubus is not pinned or fleeing. So that's at least good. All the warwalkers showed up on this side, and the venoms are coming around. Shining spears showed up on that flank, but boosted up. And we have the 3 objectives that dropped in a very, very small area near the middle of the board. Now, the way you grab them, you move into base to base. Any model with a hand can grab one, start moving away, kind of like the relic, except you can't assault, move, or run, or do stuff like that with it. Okay, and this is the rest of the Eldar force. We shall see if I get any reserves. On 3 pluses, we have the Hellions deep striking. We have the Void Raven bomber. We have the Reaver jet bikes, and we have the Eldar jet bikes. Turn 2. We had the snap shooting blaster do nothing. The running away warriors fled off the board. The Hellions deep struck in this area and killed 1 shining spear with all their shooting. No, 2. No, 1 shining spear. 1 more shining spear was killed by 8 blade veining jet bikes. The little Eldar jet bikes shot into the Vipers, did 1 hull point to the closest one, and the succubus and her witches threw a blind grenade into the Shard of Inaris autarch and his squad. They failed it, making them weapon skill, ballistic skill 1. They charged in, killing 2 of their number, taking no casualties in return. And that was the extent of Dark Eldar turn 2. We're moving on to Eldar turn 3. The battle-focusing warwalkers focused fire on the Eldar jet bikes, blew the traitorous scum sky high. The Vipers decided to go all haywire. 1 immobilized himself there, facing the other way. 1 immobilized himself there, blowing himself up because he only had 1 hull point left. And 1, the only one left in the unit, fired into the Reaver jet bikes, killing 1. The Shining Spears moved up, fired, killed 3 of the Hellions, who did not lose any models to that unit there that was further back, and then jet burst moved forward, and failed a 4-inch charge by rolling a 3, meaning that they are stuck in the open. In combat, yeah, Matt wasn't too pleased about that right there. In combat, the blinded autarch and jet bikes, the autarch in a challenge with the Hecatrix, everybody else with the witches lost 2 more of their number in the combat. And now we're moving... Oh, and then those guys died horribly to the Wave Serpent and this unit of jet bikes. And the Dark Eldar trying to have some sort of honor for the Dark Olympiad, rolling for reserves. Does the Razorwing show up? And the screaming jets in the sky will arrive to see what we can salvage from this brutal beating. Dark Eldar turn 3. With roaring jets, the Void Raven bomber has arrived. Dropped a bomb on the Warwalkers, killing 1, and 2 Void Lancers got 2 pens into an evading Wave Serpent that passed both its saves. In combat, they are no longer blinded, so the autarch killed the Hecatrix and went on a rampage and killed 2 other witches, while I killed... I put one wound on the autarch with the Venom Blade before she died, and... then they passed morale. The Hellions shot into the green unit, killing 2, and then charged in... killing 1, then charged in, killing 1, losing 2 of their number to Overwatch. And now they're locked in combat, while the Reaver jet bikes finally blade-veined all the Shining Spears with 11 wounds, which was a complete flip from last turn. So now we're moving on to turn 4. Shot a lot into the jet bikes, killing 3 more with a lot of shooting, but they are still alive and they passed their morale test. In combat, the Hellions killed one more jet bike and hit and run over the side, while the Autarch finished off the unit as he cut down the Hecatrix in a challenge with the Shard of Anaris. And the Hellions didn't run over that, and everything else just kind of moved up. We had a lot of shooting from the Warwalkers, and now we're moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 3. Let's see, turn 4, that's right. Let's see what can happen after this. Dark Eldar, turn 4. In a desperate move, the Hellions shot and charged into the Autarch, doing one more wound to the Autarch. He has one wound left, and then they all died in combat in a turn of events. Meanwhile, the Reaver jet bikes charged into the last unit of Wind Rider jet bikes, killing 2 and forcing them to fall back without being able to catch them, even with the higher initiative. So now moving on to Eldar, turn 4. The Dark Eldar turn 5. The Dark Eldar do not have much left on the board. 5 models. Let's see if they are tabled. Eldar, turn 5. Everything moved around. We had this Viper fire into the Void Raven, do 2 pen hits, and blow off a gun and stop it from snap shooting. And then it was finished off by a unit of Warwalkers, then crashed and burned. The Eldar jet bikes, the Reaver jet bikes got shot at by everything else on the table, and finally the last survivor was charged and cut down by the Autarch in close combat. So that is a victory for the Eldar Warhost in 5 turns, a tabling against the Dark Eldar force. Matt, any comments?
Good game. Ridvan, you didn't roll very well. I think
it's all good.
We both had some bad turns. I would have liked to have seen more of the psychic phase. But overall, I'm really happy with 7th edition.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Make sure you stay tuned for the Tactical Corner. It's going to take me a while to readjust from the Alpha Striking Vect army that I've been playing for the better part of a year. Or better part of 6 months. So this is definitely very different. I had a lot of fun. The Hellions were probably my MVPs, jumping around, killing stuff. And my Reaver jet bikes, which were awesome. They were very hard to pin down and just killing everything, and quite durable. Other than that, yeah, stay tuned for the Tactical Corner. At the end of the game, the 3 objectives were not taken by anybody, but I did get tabled. So Matt would have, if the game continued, Matt would have had time to go and grab the objectives. Anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Skari. Make sure you like the videos if you like the videos. Favorite them and share them if you really like them. And subscribe to the channel. Appreciate your comments. And stay tuned for the Tactical Corner. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. We'll start with deployment. Now, Matt got to deploy first and therefore decide to go first or second. I tried to mitigate his shooting as much as possible. I knew he had a lot in reserve. His first turn was crucial, knocking out one of my Venoms and one of my Raiders, the one with my Succubus. This really put my mobility on the back foot, and I knew I had to try and take out that Wave Serpent as soon as possible. My first turn saw my main anti-tank move up and fail to do a single thing. I was able to knock out a full unit of jet bikes, which was good, and Shrouded meant that I was going to be protecting my Raiders by boosting them all up in a nice little ring. But his second turn was crucial in the demise of the Dark Eldar. He was able to take out my Farseer with an instant death shot in the first attempt, and then proceeded to destroy every single one of my vehicles. This then forced me on foot and really made me play a catch-up for the rest of the game. Now, my reserves were able to come on. They didn't really do as much of an impact on the game as I would have hoped, and this has really been a learning experience, changing the style of force. I believe with the Witch Cult I need to be a little bit more aggressive. Even the Void Raven coming on and targeting the Wave Serpent with the new Jink rules
that wave serpent was very, very hard to destroy, and I didn't succeed in doing a single point of damage to it. At the end of the game, we were just having some fun, and it just comes to show that no matter how bleak the situation is, you can always learn a lesson from a hard-hearted defeat. Thanks for listening.